Welcome to this edition of the Horror Debate. I'm Jeff Rowdy Jake here, and with me is Michael Mandy.
And this week we're going to be reviewing Day of the Dead 2, Contagium. Directed by, and I gotta make sure these names get said, James Doodleson and Anna Clavel.
They're to blame.
Now, usually a director, there's only one person that you can blame, but this one, usually when there's two people involved in something, one of them at least has enough sense to say, are we sure about this?
Well, what I'm thinking is that if there was one director, you know, there's no way that this movie would have been as bad as what it is. I think with the two directors, somehow things got, like mixed together. The plot is just kind of...
You think the two of them compromised to create a bigger piece of crap than individual?
Mike, I don't even know what I just watched.
It's just so bad.
Run it down for us just real quick so I can remember.
Okay, well, this is the funniest part. I got to read this out loud to everyone out there. This movie, according to the DVD box, part prequel, part sequel.
See? They didn't even know what they were making.
They didn't know what
they had no idea.
They say it's a zombie film, yet these zombies, notice, have total consciousness. They're going, come on.
I will have to
join
admit,
us, have fun.
I have to admit, we watched Day of the Dead. I totally did not dig that movie. Too slow.
The George Romero film.
Yeah, the actual Romero film. Too drawn out, just dumb. This movie, we first popped it in, and it started off pretty lively. There was blood, there was guts, there was a lot of things going on, and then all of a sudden, stop. Nothing. I mean, poof. Yeah, the storyline just shot, man. And, it was tough to pick it up again. Now, it wasn't boring, in my opinion.
I was bored out of my skull.
Okay, well, I didn't find it so boring as it was just so badly acted that it was laughable.
It's funny because it was supposed to take place in a mental institution, but I couldn't really tell if they were mental patients or if they really were just bad actors.
I think it was bad acting more than anything, to be honest with you. They couldn't even act like they were mental patients.
Frankenhose.
Yeah, it was off the scale bad acting. There was one guy in particular, one of the inmates. I swear, I told Mike I told you during the movie that the guy's reading his lines, man. You could tell he was reading.
I like the part where the guy walks into the hospital and you can see there's no ceiling. It's a set. You can even see there's no ceiling on this.
You pointed that out.
That's how bad this movie is.
And
gee, we've got a army jeep with guys dressed up like army guys. Let's have a cartoon helicopter pass in front of the camera.
The helicopter looked like it was driving down a road instead of flying. Okay, and you can actually see it like hit a bump.
Okay.
It was so bad.
What's the basic plot of this film, Jeff?
I don't know.
And who cares?
From what I saw, I just saw a bunch of splatter, a bunch of bad actors, a hospital, and a doctor here and there, and I don't know, a couple army men
and guys who don't. With the bad tie, we're going to place this all under. Oh God, it was just bad.
The thermos of death. This should have been called or something.
Thermos of death.
I don't know. Contagium just doesn't seem to cover it. I don't know. Basically, what happens is this thermos is found, and it's got a virus in it that turns them all into zombies inside this mental institution, and
and the guy carrying it out of this. It's funny because it wanted to start out kind of like the movie The Stand. Where there's a virus that let loose and one guy escapes with the virus, and that's how it gets into the outside world. But what was so funny was the guy tossed it onto a hillside in a bush in the thermos. He tossed it onto a hillside, but when they find it so many years later and they say, oh, it's rusted shut, this thing looks crystal clean.
Rusted shut.
Yeah, rusted shut, and it's all shiny and silver.
Mike, this
they
DVD should have been rusted shut.
Oh,
we couldn't have opened it. Okay, I've seen bad movies. I've seen bad movies. In the horror genre, you're going to see bad movies. This is about as bad as I've seen.
Worse than the Zodiac Killer.
No, that lives in infamy. That is probably the worst I'll ever see.
At least this was shot on it looked like film.
And like I said, I wasn't really bored with it. It was stupid, and the dialogue was laughable, and a lot of the gore was just there to be gore. It wasn't It wasn't adding anything to the movie, but I never found myself just kind of staring out into space either, which I guess is some sort of compliment to it.
Well, the thing that they called gore in this film was mostly just red fake blood that let's splatter it on a white wall. There you go. Now we've got gore.
It didn't even look like blood. It looked like fruit punch Kool-Aid.
Yeah, let's have people put the fruit punch in their mouth so when they pretend to bite on an arm, it'll spill out.
Yeah.
That's the gore, Or it's just
I do have to say the part where the orderly got bit on the arm and then his transformation into what he actually, turned into.
He turned into a giant apple fritter.
Basically. And,
or no, sweet and sour chicken.
So, shut up. I like Chinese. That part was, I kind of dug the effect of that. I mean, he did look pretty menacing and just, horrible. So, overall, man, I do have to say one thing, though. The DVD, at least on my TV, looked spectacular. I mean, it was clean.
The quality of the film, or they probably shot it on digital?
Yeah.
But
it wasn't
everything
Dolby
else was
Digital.
bad.
It wasn't 5.1. It was Dolby Pro Logic, which there wasn't much in the way of surround sound at all. It was mostly dialogue.
It's funny, the box on this, it doesn't say it's rated R. It just says not rated, probably because they were too embarrassed to show it to the MPAA to get a rating.
Anyway.
I want to know, how did they get the rights to the name Day of the Dead?
Oh, luck?
I don't know. George Romero, if you sold them the rights to that name, you should be punished.
Well, he didn't know what he was getting himself into if he did, man. This is not a true sequel in any way,
It's not a
shape, or
prequel.
form.
It's not a sequel.
No, it's not anything it claims to be.
It's 103 minutes of suck.
I'll agree with that. I'm 1 star in it, baby.
1 star. I'm giving this the bomb.
I'm 1 star in it just for the fact that the apple fritter dude looked pretty cool.
Sweet and sour chicken man.
The sweet and sour chicken man.
I thought
he did look pretty cool. There's not really a story here, folks. It's really just kind of laughing it through for 103 minutes or whatever.
I wasn't laughing. Well, I wasn't laughing. I was cringing 103 minutes.
I know.
This movie definitely deserves the Mystery Science Theater 3000 party. Where everyone shouts out stuff at the screen.
Yeah.
The slap from hell.
Oh, that was great.
We got to talk about the slap.
That was worth a star in itself.
Okay, the thing is, with this movie, all the people who were infected by the thing start to feel each other's pain and each other's thing. When stuff happens to one, it happens to all of them. So when one person gets slapped, all of a sudden you see all 8 people just go, and whip their faces
and
back
their faces
together.
turn, yeah.
And what did you say, Jeff, about that? I slapped you so hard.
I slapped you so hard, I'd kill your whole family, and that's exactly what it looked like.
Their whole
One guy
family got hit.
8 of them turned their head. It was absolutely hilarious.
This was a terrible
But you
film.
go to a horror movie to laugh, and I mean, I think they totally missed the point.
Oh, this was bad.
So
I'm surprised we watched it all the way through.
I didn't think we were, but like I said, I never found myself super bored. It was enough comedy to keep me going.
Oh, but the first hour was nothing but talk. It's like it wanted to be One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, no. Day of the Dead, that is talk.
Hey, they were shouting.
Well, okay, but at least in this one, there's like some blood being splattered and people getting eaten and intestines getting pulled out and necks being ripped, and I mean, there's something at least to keep you going.
After that 1 hour, the guy was just typing on his computer the whole time. Single man looking for blonde.
Right. The doctor. There's so many moments in this movie where we just sat there and making up dialogue for these characters because they obviously needed it. Number one, and number two, we had to entertain ourselves somehow. But it was, avoid at all costs.
Avoid this film. Everyone who is affiliated with this film should really be embarrassed. I'm sorry. I try to be nice. Their heart was in the right place, but you know what? Their heart really wasn't. This obviously looked like people out to make a quick buck. Someone said, "Hey, guess what? I found real dirt cheap. The rights to the name.
The license.
Let's put something together really quickly.
Right.
Let's just sink the whole budget into a bunch of vat of red blood, splatter it on white walls, and let's call it a movie."
I thought it was funny because you mentioned that you had never seen any of these actors again. I was like, gee, I wonder why.
And no one's going to see any of these actors again.
1 star, Mike.
Bomb for this one.
Okay.
All right, this is Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy Jeff. We'll see you next week on The Horror Debate.